Hi guys, so today's video is going to be another back to school video. This video is a back to school Q&A. I thought I would just answer your guys' questions about myself and any advice that you guys wanted for the back to school time. I know that it creates a lot of nerves for people and I just wanted to be like an older sister to you guys. So I'm going to give you my advice, whether it's high school, college, whatever. So I asked you guys on my Instagram to ask me some questions and you guys did awesome. I had so many questions in like an hour, and so I asked it this morning and it's 11:30 now. It's only been a few hours, so sorry to the people that were late to it. So I'm also doing a back to school giveaway on my Instagram, so definitely go over there and enter it. It's gonna be open until the 13th of August, so you still have time. Go enter as quickly as you can, and yeah, all the rules for the giveaway are over on my Instagram, so just go over there. But without further ado, let's get started into this video. Okay, so if you are new here, I'm going to give you a little bit of a background about myself. I just graduated high school and I'm going to be a freshman in college. I have not announced the college I'm going to yet. I don't really plan on it just for safety reasons. I don't really want to like flaunt it everywhere. Even though I know that everybody does it, I don't know. It still worries me and it worries my parents. So I took some screenshots of all the ones that I wanted to answer. And the first one is, what about relationships? Are you going to be in one or do you want to be in one? Well, I have no idea if I'm going to be in one because I cannot tell the future. Obviously, I want to be in one, but I want to be in one whenever I'm ready and whenever God is like, hey, here you go. Because I date to marry, and to me, dating is a really big deal. And so I'm willing to wait on the right person. So yeah, obviously I want to be in one, if that makes sense, but I'm in no rush to be in one. So I got so many questions about advice for senior year. My advice would be take in every moment. And I know that everybody says that, but like, I decided that I wanted to document it, which I didn't do very good at. So like the first week of school, I just took like a quick video every single day. It did not work out that well. Maybe if I have them, I'll put them on the screen. Senior pictures. Okay, go.
It's August 10th.
And we're marketing. No, we're not marketing, we're in event planning.
Gosh.
I suck at this. Maybe do something like that, like just embrace it all. And I also realized like my senior year, I grew closer with my friends, and those are the friends that like I'm still gonna keep in touch with even whenever I'm in college, just because like they are really important people to me. And my friend group grew smaller, not like I had like a specific group, but I had like 3 really close friends. So I would also really use that time to grow in whatever you care about. So me personally, I really tried to grow my relationship with Christ because I knew that college is going to be a really hard time. So I spent a lot of time growing myself and growing my relationship with God, because I was also going through a really hard time. I went through a really hard breakup like going into my senior year, like this summer going in, and so I did a whole video about that if you want to see it. It's like what I learned from 2017. But so yeah, that really helped me grow in my relationship with God. Okay, so somebody asked, is it okay to go to high school parties? Now, I'm going to be totally real with you guys. I went to one party my high school time, and it was after prom, which is like probably the worst party that you could go to. But I was very aware of what was going to be going on there, and I am a very strong person. Like when I say, oh, I'm not gonna drink, like I'm not gonna drink, nobody can tempt me, and I knew that I would be able to withhold from that. I only went because like it was a lot of my like friends, and I also knew that one of my friends who is also a believer was going to be there, and so we both knew that like neither of us wanted to drink or anything. So I went because one of my really close friends, it was her party, and I knew that I would just go for a little bit, and so I went, and it was awful. I felt anxious the entire time. I just don't do well in situations like that, but a lot of people tried to get me to drink before they were drunk, And it was funny because I was like, no, no, no. And they were like, why not? Why not? Like, eh. And I was like, I really just have no desire to drink. And so then once people were drunk, they were like, wow, I respect that so much. Like, it's so funny when people are like out of it, they like speak what they mean. And some people were like, I'm sick of this life. I'm sick of this. And it was just really sad, like honestly. And I just left. I was like, bye. I was just cleaning up. Like I was totally the mom. And yeah, so I just went home, but I would suggest not going to parties. Like I said, I only went to one. Nothing good happens at a party. Like you are not gonna get anything good out of it. I didn't get anything good out of going to that. And second, if you have temptations with that stuff, don't put yourself in a situation where you're gonna be tempted to do things. And also, a lot of bad things happen at parties. Like if you get drunk, people take advantage of you. Guys can do things that if you weren't at that party, like you wouldn't have that done to you. So I would just be really careful what you do and what situations you put yourself in. So yeah, but she said, is it okay? I don't think it's a sin to go to a party, but what you do at that party, there's a lot of bad things that don't reflect Christ going on there. Like nothing there reflects Christ at all. So I just wouldn't go, and I have no desire to go to another one. So somebody else asked, how do you plan on meeting Christian friends in college? So I just plan on meeting Christian friends just by getting really involved with all of like the campus things like RUF and crew and all of those, like, what are those called? I don't know, like organizations on campus. And I also am gonna get plugged into a church. That is something that is really big to me and it's really important to do. And I feel like a lot of college freshmen don't do that. So I've already been to this one church there where I'm going to college and I really liked it. I went with my roommate now and we both really liked it, so I may be going there, but I'll probably try out a few other churches. But I'm just going to try to create an environment to where the people around me have the same beliefs as me, and hopefully I'll make friends by doing that. How many relationships have you had during all of your school years? I've only had one. I've only dated one guy, and we dated for almost a year, but like we kind of like talked, I guess you could say, for a really, really long time. And yeah, I take dating really seriously, so I don't just like date around all the time. And breakups suck, so. What is your biggest tip for the ACT? Girl, I don't even know. Like, I was the worst when it came to ACTs. Like, oh my gosh, I hated them. I don't even know, just study, take those classes. They're awful, but they do help. Like, it's really more of like, can you take a test? It's not the knowledge of what's on the test. It's annoying. How do you deal with all of the temptation around you? So this is a good question. So like going back to school, there's a lot of temptations. It's really easy to be yourself during the summer because you choose who you hang around with and you're honestly kind of by yourself a lot in the summer, or you're working, whatever. But when you get back to school, there's a lot of temptations that come with that. And honestly, you just have to stay true to yourself, and you just have to remember, like, what do you want out of life? Like, what are you living for? All of these things, like, you really have to keep a goal in mind. And I've always, not always, but I've told myself, you know, like, I am living for one reason alone, and that is to tell people about Jesus, because I want them to find the amazing love that I have found and the unconditional love that I have found. And through that, it has given me confidence and just security in who I am and all these things that I know other people don't have. So that is what I live my life for. So whenever I'm tempted by things, I just remember that. And I'm like, wait, no, like this temptation is gonna give me like a moment of satisfaction, and it's just not worth it compared to what like bad things could happen. So whether it's gossiping, that is such a big temptation for girls, and yeah, it may feel good in the moment, like, oh my gosh, that girl is so like, but it can hurt that person, it will hurt yourself, it will hurt your reputation. It is just not worth it, and in the end, that does not reflect God well. Like, if you're a believer, God hates gossip, and it's literally in the Bible, it's do not gossip. So I just try to refrain from all those things and just remember like what I'm living for. Okay, so somebody asked, how do you adjust to making new friends and making sure that they are good friends? First of all, how to make sure that they're good friends, you can definitely tell people if they're real based off their actions, how they talk. If they are talking bad about people all the time to you, they're gonna do the same thing to other people about you. So that's a very clear sign that this person is not a good friend if they're constantly talking bad about other people, because they're just gonna do the same thing to you. And how do you adjust to making new friends? I don't know, like just be friendly and just be yourself. That's huge. Like do not be somebody that you aren't, because whenever you get in that friendship, like that's eventually going to come out that that's not really you, and then it's just going to ruin the friendship. So yeah, and just to make sure they're good friends, like you'll know who somebody truly is. If you're not getting good vibes from them, then just don't be their friend. Okay, so somebody asked me what class am I looking forward to the most. I'm looking forward to my Intro to Study of Religions class the most, just because I find other religions so fascinating. I even find like my own fascinating, and I love history, so I just like to see like why people believe the things that they do. And to me as a believer, I think it's really ignorant if you aren't aware of other people's beliefs, because how can you understand why they do the things they do and why they wear the things that they wear and all these things if you don't know? Like I don't know, and it's something that's very like to their heart. So how can you connect with them and be like friends with them if you don't understand what they believe? So I think that's really important, and I'm just really excited for it because it's like one of the classes where I chose that class. Everything else is like, ugh, it's awful. So that's the only class that's like gonna be fun. Okay, so somebody asked, when you were in high school, what time of the day did you do your quiet time? I had a ton of different, like I had different routines like every semester, because every semester like would change how I did things, what time I would wake up. But for about a year, I would get to school really early and do my Bible study in my car, which was awesome. I would do it with my friend, and honestly, that was the best way, and that was I was the best at doing it whenever I did that. I did that for a while. Sometimes I would have a really big break in between my classes and I would do it then. I just prefer to do it in the morning because it starts your day off right. But I didn't always do it in the morning because sometimes you just don't want to wake up. Like, I feel you on that, but it is best to do it then. Okay, somebody asked any tips on not procrastinating. No, I literally, like, I am the worst at procrastination, but the best way I can tell you is just to have a routine and to have like priorities and set those priorities and put in your planner, I'm gonna study this time, and you most likely will. Okay, so somebody asked, how can you make new friends when you are a freshman? Oh, my mom's calling. I feel like that's a very common thing. Hello? I think my mom calls me in like almost every video, but she needs me to go do something, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I just went downstairs, got a banana because I'm hungry. Oh my gosh. What the heck? Why is this impossible to open? Do I have a knife? I guess I'll open it from the bottom like a monkey. I don't trust the people that eat the bottom of the banana. Like, that just grosses me out. Ew, I know I'm chewing so loud. So I think the question was, how can you make new friends when you're a freshman? It's so easy. Like, it's way easier than I thought it would be. So I went to a high school where they merged schools together because the middle school the elementary school that I went to didn't have a middle school. So I went to this other middle school, and then they built our high school. So then like other middle schools went to that high school. And so that probably made not a lot of sense, but everybody was pretty much like a new person. Like, there's just a ton of new people getting together, and I promise you, you are gonna make so many friends. Like, you're just gonna make friends with the people that are in your classes. And I made a ton of new friends my freshman year, and I figured like, oh, I'll just stay, like I'll just keep my same friends, and I did, but I also made a lot of new friends. So it will be it's a lot easier than you think. Just be yourself and talk to the people around you. Okay, so I had so many questions about how I'm able to manage school, social life, YouTube, sports, all of that. And I've answered this in a Q&A before, but honestly, I really just don't know how I've been able to do it. It's really hard, but I just like know that, okay, I want to put out this many videos a week. I want to like do this. I've got this test. Like, I just prioritize, and that's how I do it. And honestly, like, I just keep a planner, and that's really important. Oh, and she also said, and how do you put God first? I just keep God in my everyday life. Like, I'm always thinking about how I can better myself, and whenever I'm driving, I try to listen to like uplifting music. I try to listen to podcasts while getting ready. Like, you can always include God in your day. It's not just like, oh, I'm gonna read my Bible in the morning, close my Bible, go do whatever else I want to do, and God doesn't follow me through that. Like, He's living throughout my everyday life, and so I'm just constantly bettering myself to represent Him, I guess. So those are all of the questions for this Q&A. I really hope you guys enjoyed this back to school Q&A. I hope you guys are enjoying my back to school series, and don't forget to enter my giveaway. It ends on the 13th, and so it is on my Instagram, so head over there. And yeah, so if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.